Hello, today I wanted to have a look at the Casio A158WEGV-9AEF. It's another model designation that just trips off the tongue, isn't it? It's June 2025 and I've just got this one. I think it's a new release, this one, with the full gold plated stainless steel bracelet, although the little clasp buckle is still just stainless steel, which I think that would have been nice if they'd made that gold plated as well, but you know, you don't really see it once it's on the wrist. With the full gold face plate, which is this like mirrored effect, which I'll talk about in a bit, and it has green accents. I don't know really if this is showing up. No, it's not exactly a super bright green, but in the flesh it's definitely more green than it looks on my camera's screen here. Not sure what's going on with my colour rendering there, but yeah, it's got nice green accents. Some black text here, all the other bits are a real nice green colour, and I think green and gold is always a really nice combination, and when I saw this one online I had to get it. I've got a couple of other kind of gold trimmed Casios, a couple of F91s there, but yeah, I don't own another full sort of gold coloured digital watch, and I really liked this online, so I had to get it. It was quite expensive for an A158 at £58 from Amazon, but I think this is a really handsome watch. It gives your wrist a little bit of retro bling, obviously without being over the top and super blingy and too vulgar. I think you can wear a watch like this with a bit of an ironic wink. And yeah, I think it's a really nice looking watch. I really, really love the Casio A158. I think it's a beauty. The A158 is basically an F91, but dressed up in its smart clothes. This one's my old favourite, classic A158, but with the gold face. This one I also love in this kind of gunmetal finish. Really nice. There she is on my approximately just over 7-inch circumference wrist. Yeah, these are really small watches by modern standards, but I really like small watches. They slide under cuffs, no problem whatsoever. Slides under gloves, doesn't get in the way, really light. Yeah, you can just see that the steel coloured clasp a bit there underneath the buckle. As I say, you barely see that bit, do you? Dimensions wise, A158 is 36.8mm lug to lug, 33mm width without buttons or these raised knobbly bits, nice and slim at a width of 8.7, which is just a tad thicker than a F91W, which is 8.4. So yeah, a small watch. This one weighs 46 grams, let's call it. So also a really lightweight watch. This one, because it's all gold, has got the golden tinted screen as well. If I compare it next to one of my other A158s, which has the kind of the silvery grey screen, the gold one has a golden tint, which does look nice. It's not quite as sharp in the flesh for viewing. The time is still plenty sharp enough to read, but just to make you aware of that, it's not quite as sharp as the grey screen ones, but the backlight is slightly better on all the gold screen ones for some reason. Something to do with the colouring on the back screen there, I don't know. I'll try and show you. Here's a standard A158. My camera is struggling to pick up the backlight in this lighting. The lights on these and the F91Ws get slagged off for being incredibly weak, but I can read the time in the dark on there, 9:23. And here's the light on the gold A158. 9:23, yeah, it's just a little bit brighter. Certainly if you tilt it to the side slightly. Gold one is on the left. Yeah, it's just a bit brighter. Not sure why, but it's like that on all my gold screened Casios. Something to do with the coating on the gold screens there. It just makes the backlight a slight tad bit better in low light conditions. Probably don't need to go over the features of this watch too much, but you've got time with seconds, day of the month, day of the week, 24-hour or 12-hour time. And you get an alarm clock. That's the alarm clock indicator. That's the optional hourly chime indicator there. And you get a stopwatch and you get the settings screen. So it's a functional, useful little tool watch, and it looks rather smart. It's marked as only water resistant, but yeah, I've said this in many of my videos. I've swum in my Casio F91s and my other A158s. many times over the years that I've worn them for. I've never had any one of them leak, so don't be worried about getting your cheap water-resistant Casio wet. They are plenty waterproof for casual swimming, showering, anything like that. In my experience, these are plenty waterproof watches. Case back is held on by 4 tiny screws, and there's a little rubber gasket behind here, which, as I say, in my experience, I've never had one of these leak. These folded link straps tend to get slated by people who say they're a bit flimsy, they're a bit lightweight. Well, yeah, they are lightweight, they're super flexible. I really like them because they're flexible and lightweight. It helps keep the watch down to a really lightweight overall, and I find them dead comfortable. I really like this strap design. It's kind of like a sort of flattened Jubilee type of affair. Looks really good, I think. It's a quartz watch, so it's accurate. Should lose or gain a maximum of 30 seconds a month. With this Casio module, the 593, there's almost no moving parts in a quartz digital watch. Only really the tiny piece of quartz crystal vibrating in its little shell in here. So they're super durable and will survive plenty knocking about and everything. The only issue with these sort of watches is that the case is just sort of chrome-plated resin. It's just a plastic case under this gold paint here, so these can wear over time. The paint on the case can chip and it can peel, but you know, it's a relatively cheap watch, and I do find they're plenty durable enough. Let's have a look on my old A158. You can see a load of little scratches on there, look. Small scratches on the surface. The screen's still in pretty good condition on this one. It's holding up okay. I've had this one for a few years. Don't wear it every day. Here's my ABL 1000, which I have worn almost every day over the last sort of 7 months. Yeah, tons of little scratches, but it's holding up okay. This one's pretty much brand new, so hopefully hasn't really got any scratches on it yet after 1 day of ownership. But yeah, that'll pick up a load of little scuffs and marks and scratches as well. But you know, they're the marks of life. It shows that I've loved my watch, I've worn my watch, and I don't mind. It's not a £22,000 Rolex or anything, is it? So, you know, so be it. Let's see how she weathers. But what do you reckon to this one? Yeah, I really like the green and gold. Casio have started using this mirrored faceplate on a lot more of their watches now, and I don't like this mirrored effect faceplate. I think I can get away with it on this particular watch. I did have an A700 with a mirrored faceplate, and I hated that one. Got a retro A168 here with the sort of mirrored faceplate as well, and I don't really like it on this one. It's just too shiny and a bit too bling blongy for me. I do kind of wish the faceplate on this one was just the solid gold colour that it is on this one. This one doesn't reflect the light back so much. It's not mirrored and it's a little bit more subtle, and I prefer this kind of finish to this highly polished mirror one on there. But yeah, I do like this watch. I am going to keep this one, and I think it's a bit of a peach. What do you reckon to it, chaps? I think it's a nice bit of retro chic bling for your wrist wear. Let me know what you think to these retro Casios in the comments down below, and I hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribing, because it would help me to grow the channel. And there are approximately 13 billion YouTube watch review channels on YouTube, so yeah, any help is much appreciated. Thank you. Hope to catch you in the next one. Adios amigos and amigas. Hasta luego.